Zecharia Sitchin. It is a great honor to have you on. I'm not going to waste any time. I'd like to begin at the beginning, if we could. The 12th planet. What is the 12th planet?
According to ancient texts that have come to us from Mesopotamia, today's Iraq, going back almost 6,000 years, they provided us with a cosmogony dealing with how the solar system came into being. As soon as it came into being, a planet ejected from its own solar system somewhere else was drawn into the center of our solar system, had a collision with another planet that existed at that time between Mars and Jupiter. In that collision, half of that other planet was smashed into bits and pieces, became mostly the asteroid belt that orbits between Mars and Jupiter. Part of it became a comet that visits us from time to time, and the other half became our planet Earth. That invader, which was called in the ancient text by the Sumerians Nibiru, became also a member of the solar system with a vast elliptical orbit that lasts about 3,600 years. So that planet became the 12th member of the solar system. So this is the story of the 12th planet, and it goes back to the very beginnings of our own solar system, of the Earth and the heavens as we know them. And this is really the source of the biblical tale and the beginning of the book of Genesis.
When do you believe this 12th planet will return?
Well, first of all, let me say I believe that it will return, because this would be a fulfillment of all the prophecies.
What is the best estimate of its return time?
There
is a comet that has been discovered, first thought to be as big as 1,000 miles across, now thought to be at least 100 miles across. They have calculated its return time at about 3,600 years. Is there any correlation?
Probably, but let me explain why. The orbit of Nibiru, as the Sumerians called it, has a retrograde orbit. Now, all the members, virtually all the members of our solar system, orbit in what we call a counterclockwise direction. Nibiru orbits in a clockwise, and thus it's called retrograde direction.
Right.
And that's the collision, because when one planet orbited one way, Nibiru came in another way, there was a collision. So first of all, this is a retrograde orbit. Second, according to the biblical prophecies, it would appear in the constellation of Sagittarius.
Which is where?
And then it comes into the center of the solar system. So here we have this so-called comet. I say so-called because nobody's really sure what it is, that appeared beyond almost where Neptune is, and it was already extremely bright.
But let me stop you for 1 second and ask you, if it must be near the sun for this brightness to be apparent because of the evaporation of the snowball or whatever it is they think comets have, then where is the energy coming from now to create this brightness?
Well, okay, that's one of the enigmas. So that's why I say so-called comet, because a normal comet does not become that bright at all, and does not become that bright that far out. First is the brightness. Then there is the retrograde orbit. Then there is the appearance from Sagittarius. And then there is this orbit of estimated 3,500 years. So I did get many calls from fans and others who said, is it Nibiru? And I don't think it's Nibiru, because Nibiru, according to all the sources, is at least 3 to 4 times the size of Earth. If it is 1,000 miles, as I did hear too from my sources, then it is already not a comet, it's a small planet. It's not Nibiru, but in my opinion it is a harbinger of Nibiru.
A harbinger of. All right, I would like to ask you about this. Worldwide now, I've had many prophets on my program. Gordon Michael Scallion is a very good friend of mine. He has predicted accurately, I'm sorry to say, the activation of the Ring of Fire. Earthquakes all around the Ring of Fire. What's going on, Zecharia?
Ask your prophet.
Before we leave this, let's just have another listen to see if we missed anything.
I'm Art Bell, and coming up in a moment, Zecharia Sitchin. there is a comet that has been discovered by two amateur astronomers,
Right.
now named Hale-Bopp. 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 First thought to be as big as 1,000 miles across, now thought to be at least 100 miles across. Big, very, very big. Is there any correlation?
Probably, but let me explain why. According to expectations in biblical times, it would appear when it does return in the constellation of Sagittarius.
Which is where Hale-Bopp, 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 Hale-Bopp is.
Right. So here we have this so-called comet. I say so-called because nobody's really sure what it is.
Just close your eyes, forget your name, forget the world, forget the people.